The following podcast may contain spoilers.
Hello, and welcome to another week of Treading the Path of the Heavens, guys. I am your host, Jonathan Kinney, joined as always by my two co-hosts and perennial guest.
Hi, I'm Bill.
And I am Richard.
And I'm that perennial guest, Seth.
Wah, wah.
I just want to state for the record, we are not experts in anything.
Speak for yourself. I'm an expert at everything.
Okay,
Anything
well,
I
Richard
touch.
is our resident expert at everything, but
I am like
I do
notably-
not claim to know how to pronounce Chinese words. I do not claim how to pronounce Korean names.
Oh yeah, please
or,
don't
like,
get mad at us.
Any of those things. I will do my best. If I do know how to pronounce something correctly, I will do that. But,
Okay, this might be hard, okay? Because, like, some of the names in our next, in what we're covering today, are kind of similar. So please forgive me, guys.
I have approximate knowledge in all things.
Okay, cool. Bill's got 60% knowledge of things.
60% of the time, it hurts every time.
Roll high.
But we do really love this stuff, and we have a passion for letting people know about it.
I mean, I don't have a passion for it so much as I am willing to sit here and listen to these guys talk about it week over week for your
And
entertainment.
it's because you're profoundly lazy.
If by
true.
willing you mean is tied, and by tied I mean too lazy to get up and walk
We
away.
gave you like 4 weeks to read like 10 chapters of a book, and you were like, nah, I don't really feel like it.
yeah,
And
I
then
mean, I
we're
just
like-
kept not feeling like it.
I mean, he literally has Coiling Dragon as a bookmark, and he's had it for years.
I've had it for years,
I know,
literal
because
years.
I told you, whatever.
and no read.
Anyway.
It's still on chapter 1.
I hate everyone.
I open
But-
it every so often and read the opening lines, and I'm like, oh man, that seems like a good book. And then I close it again.
Womp womp.
And then you made me watch the fucking Tickle documentary. Like,
Tickled was
you
a
are
great documentary.
Actually, the worst.
Tickled is a great
But-
documentary, don't even.
Okay.
We
Besides
have too
that,
important stuff to get into. I am sorry. Let us dive into this. We are talking this week about Cell Station Necromancer.
Soul Station Necromancer.
I love this book. This was my recommendation.
It was, and we there was a night where we were going to record, and we ended up not being able to. And I thought we were going to talk about this, so I was going to read the first like 10 or 15 chapters to have a base. And I ended up finishing it about 2 days later.
Dun dun dun.
It is quite the page turner. Quite the page turner. That's the way I feel like a good Korean novel needs to be. Soul Station Necromancer tells the story of a great man, a man taken from our world randomly. Like it was during the first dungeon break.
Yeah. So life was just like it is in our world, but then one day everything went to shit. A subway station just suddenly like all the land around it like exploded a bit.
Wait a second. Was it the Soul Station?
I don't think it was actually the sales station.
Oh, god damn it.
Does the soul train go
It
through the
is
soul
in
station?
fact
Okay.
it is in fact a subway station in Seoul. See, the way dungeons work here is any place that's considered underground can be a location for a dungeon.
Well, that's neat.
So subways just kind of fit the requirements of this magical being that creates these dungeons. And so subways across the earth have started to become magic monster infested dungeons.
But it's great because it eventually, though when it happened, it was a terrible, terrible, terrible time for everyone in the world.
Modern times?
Thousands of people died. Like cell phone times, people just died. Because people on subways instantly blinked out of existence. Just killed.
What I love about this is like it built a great world with this premise. Like there's so many times where it's like, yeah, like real estate prices near subways has plummeted. Because no one wants to fucking live next to a place where monsters.
Because if a dungeon break happens and all the monsters come out because we failed to clear the dungeon, or a new, well, that would be a spoiler to go further in.
Honestly, I don't
is this a
care. We
trickster
got to
god?
spoil some of this.
Yo,
because,
you kind of
like,
have
it
to,
doesn't matter.
because this world is like you read it through the characters and how awesome Woo Jin, the main character, actually is.
Yeah, it's basically like Robin Williams' Jumanji, except he lived instead of like living in the wild, he lived in a world with like necromancers and magic and shit, and then like came back as a super wizard.
Except for like you were gone from our world for 5 years. Your family, your loved ones, everyone thought you were dead.
Sure.
But you actually spent 20 years on a planet and became one of the ultimate kings.
Delightful.
Like
ultimate power is great, a great aspiration, but to get it and then go back to where you came from,
Yeah.
Well,
sounds.
but that's all he wanted.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. Like, he didn't choose to go to this other planet. Like, his whole thing was like, he had like a system that was basically telling him shit and letting him like buy points, like spend points on things and all this kind of stuff. And that gets explained more later on in the novel as to why that's the case.
See, yeah,
but like
he had level, like he could visualize the level system when other people couldn't, but he realized because they have like these different levels of power: first circle, second circle, third circle, mages and warriors. From where he's from, because these people literally have magic inbred to them, and in our world, because our world is unsynchronized, people are weaker. There's no reason for levels in strength.
People
and
are
power.
shitty in our world. Just notably.
No. Our world is safe. Our people aren't shitty. Our world is just safe.
Yeah, it turns out we're just like like we think we're like all bloodthirsty and warlike, but it actually turns out we're super peaceful and nice.
Yes.
And other worlds are savage, awful places to live.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're lucky because
Like, morality exists as a concept in our world, and that's like pretty loose in other places.
see.
But getting dungeons in your world is the triggering of the start of synchronization. People called Roused come into existence. People who can tap into magical powers, have the potential of growing stronger,
Right.
gaining magical skills, gaining strength, etc.
So at this
Roused is what we call them in our world, and they have ranks ranking from F to
A.
double S.
So at this point,
double A.
In theory.
In theory, double S.
Up to double S.
using our terms that we've gained from other stories, this is our cultivators of the genre.
Yes and no.
Kinda.
Yes, in the sense of it is like the cultivation system of the world. No, in the sense of like Korean novels don't necessarily have cultivation.
Okay. I'm just trying to tie it
it's-
to what we already know.
Yeah, no, it is similar for sure.
I mean, yes and no. It's just imagine where there's cultivation, except there's not enough. There's not enough energy in our world to cultivate, and then some bad dudes want to invade our world to take something from our world that we don't know exists.
So they basically made the dungeons so that monsters would run out, and then like when they died and we collected the magic essence inside of them, it would make our world slightly more magical.
But we take advantage of it because it's infinite power. Every time, all of those gems you get from killing those monsters in the dungeon and bringing them back, bringing back out, which is why these weak wows keep going in these dungeons and farming.
Clean energy.
It's clean, infinite energy.
Ridiculous.
But it's also a currency for the people who are trying to invade. And the people who are trying to invade are basically gods.
I'm sorry, I just gotta go back to the ranks real quick because it leads to a very funny problem of when you have rank A, because those are rank A roused. And I have to chuckle in my head every time that shows up in the story.
So wait, there's a double A? So there's double aroused?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
double aroused.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Triple aroused too.
Ah.
Don't worry, they're not important.
Oh.
Except for one.
Anyway. But yeah, I think there's the story is finished at 230 chapters in Korean,
200.
and then 181 have been translated.
Yeah, 181 so far. It's
Man, so they're only
been
like 50
going-
chapters off of being done.
Yeah,
That's a very short story, it sounds
I
like.
mean,
that is Korean
Koreans,
novels.
those are Korean novels, except for Legendary Moonlight Sculptor, which sticks out as very different than most.
Okay,
To be
They're
fair,
usually short.
Once you get to like chapter book 13 or 14 in Legendary Moonlight Sculptor, it's kind of like books kind of start to feel episodic. Like,
Yeah.
this is the theme of this book is him being a ghost pirate captain, or him becoming a dwarf and
Him being the
outsculpting
coolest
people.
orc of all time.
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
It's
like-
just that's the story of weed. I like Korean novels because they're very focused.
right.
And you can feel like something I see lacking in some cultivation Chinese novels, and that there's character growth for the main character in those. And in this one, there's character growth for everybody affected by the main character in this.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, like
He's a force of nature.
every single person that he can literally see people's souls. He's a necromancer. Like,
Yeah.
he deals with life and death magic. So, like, when he goes around, he looks at people's souls and he's like, oh, pure soul person. A person I'm willing to interact with. Like, if you're dirty or shady, he's just like, no, fuck you, I don't care.
Yeah. Or he'll kill you. And you'll save me in death. This is this dude's, he's like, okay, imagine if you took Conan the Barbarian, gave him necromancer powers, put him in our world, except he's just as powerful here as he is there, and then you gave him the ability to topple entire civilizations.
I mean, that sounds like a recipe
North
for
Korea.
bad times.
But no, like, I mean, this has been a great read. Like, I've literally seen this guy come from a guy that didn't know any skills except for, like, because when he comes back to our world, he gets, like, reset to level 1.
Yeah.
But now he has all the knowledge.
But he has all the knowledge. He still, like, understands how to fight. So, like, he's still beating the shit out of people. And so he goes from this person who basically understands how to fight as, like, and keep in mind, he was like a wizard in the other world. It was just so much of a more brutal world that he picked up the basics. And just with that knowledge, we've seen that guy go from that to, like, oh God, I don't even, like, in a way I don't want to say it, but, like, to, like, he's a fucking world leader.
Oh, yeah.
And he, like, has an army of, like, thousands and tens of thousands of undead. Like,
Yeah. And he's
he solved terrorism, guys.
he's a leader of men. People, like, because he can see souls, he also sees people willing to be saved. And he treats them like he's treating them well for selfish reasons because he wants to save the world for his family.
Sure.
Because honestly, as long as his little sister and his mom are fine, he doesn't give a shit, right?
Sounds like just install them in your castle and fuck up the rest of the world.
Pretty much. But he told him, I want to save this because this is my home, right?
Yeah, this is my home, so I care about this one. And the other place I didn't care. I could be as ruthless as fuck and it didn't matter.
Yo, yeah,
but this is home. Now I have to be a human again.
People are shocked because though we're reading and we see things he do was really like savage and like ridiculous, he's actually super toned back because when people who knew him from the other world
See him in
meet
this one?
him, they're like, the immortal is so kind.
There's a character that comes over from the other world and, like, meets him. And, like, she's literally, in the world's knowledge, the strongest person that exists. She is a rank double S Roused. And she's, like, literally, like, growing back limbs. And,
Like true healing magic.
curing uncurable diseases and things. And then, like, so she's, like, she's holding an assembly and people from all over the world are in attendance and, like, enraptured, like, almost worshiping her.
They can make a church to her.
And he just walks in and she sees him and she's like, oh God, oh God. And, like, literally, like jumps on the ground and, like, crawls forward and, like, kisses his feet and then, like, kowtows to him.
And he's getting annoyed because every time she touches it, because she's literally blessed by God.
Yeah.
Every time she touches him, he feels uncomfortable. It burns him.
That makes sense.
He does not like it.
He's a necromancer.
Yeah,
It's not great.
He's like, yeah, he doesn't like it. But he's like, why are you?
Might
First
as
things
well.
first, and he's the only person who's ever spoke to her like rudely, like on our planet.
Right.
Everyone's like, how are you speaking to the holy maiden like that? And
Like,
She ain't
she's not even, like, she was, like, not even second in command of the organization that was terrified of him. Like, there was 3 portions. There was the alliance of everyone that was trying to resist what was going on, the evil people, and the undead lands.
yeah, the undead lands, his area, and he didn't attack and he didn't leave. And if anyone stepped foot on his land, he killed them. Didn't matter what. The main bad guys didn't mess with him.
No, I mean that seems very fair to all sides. Do not step on my land,
very
and you
master
won't
This
builder.
die.
person, like, that world he was from was fully synchronized, so it was, like, heavy fantasy, like, super magical
Elves
world.
and shit,
So,
world
like,
trees.
The Earth is, like, in, like, the beginning of puberty in its magical world. Like, magic is just a thing we're learning to touch with. So this is, like, this guy who just got out of retirement in magic, coming to our world and, like, doing, like, looking at all these people like these fucking babies.
Too old.
And
for
then,
this
like, so,
shit.
like, he finds people that he likes, and then he's just like, we're gonna make you awesome. And, like, a month later, he's already, like, one of the people that would be making headlines in the country.
Like most like ridiculous. Like and all the people who come across, all of like Sang-hoon or like Jamin or all these people, lives are intrinsically changed by encountering this man. And Jamin got lucky because he just happened to be both the sister of a girl he went to high school with that he remembered, the brother of a girl he went to school with,
Sure.
and the first guy he encounters when he shows up back up in our world.
Yeah, he shows up and he's like, "Oh shit, I don't have any money," and he just like sees this high school and he's
Oh,
like, "Hey,
hey, what's up,
give me a
guy?"
bunch of money."
Delightful.
But keep in mind, Jamin's being beat up at this point. And the first thing that went through his head is he did his hand like this to, take their souls. And nothing happened. And he was confused.
Like, I don't have magic.
That's weird. So he just beats the shit out of them.
You know who this reminds me of? Makes me think of Neely.
Yeah, no,
Neely
it
from
kinda has-
what?
From Tales of Demons and Gods. We reviewed it in our first episode, I think.
Neely, except not conniving.
Oh, okay.
This guy is
Yeah, no,
very...
he is super straightforward. He's just
Straightforward.
like, I'm the strongest. If you have a problem with that, like, I'll deal with you, or we'll figure it out. But it doesn't matter. Like, he doesn't
I'm
give a
gonna
shit
win.
about
Like,
what other people
They had
do.
a double-A Roused from Korea who thought she was hot shit. And she tried to test this man. Don't test this man.
Yeah, he just straight killed her.
like
Like,
and then
unceremoniously.
admitted it. It's like, she tried to kill me? So I killed her in a press conference. And then his people are like, oh God, what are we gonna do? We gotta
He
do
hires
this.
all these people, and their entire job is just putting out fires that he starts.
But it's cool. I'll bring you power and influence.
He absolutely will,
All
though,
these
right?
times they're always like, "Oh, this is bullshit! I can't believe you're asking me to do this." And he'll just be like, "What if we double your salary?" And they're like, "Truly, he's a man who knows how to be great."
What do you think about becoming a prime minister?
Sure, he's the
Dude, he
greatest.
destroyed
yeah.
all corruption in Korea.
That's hard.
He went to North
Yeah,
Korea.
because he just showed up and killed him.
He's like, everyone who's evil, who's ever done wrong, I've had ghosts tracking you. I know what you did. Now you're
I know
gonna
what you
die.
did. I saw the ghost. The ghost told me. I know what you did.
He's kind of getting. He's like, "Oh shit, the world is under attack. We've got a very small amount of time to get the world ready.
We don't have
And
time for this
one's gonna
bureaucracy."
No one's going to trust me and listen to us and try to fix this. Because I'm just going to become strong enough to do this, and I don't care who I have to piss off to do it."
Real talk, like they tried to kill him, right? Because they didn't like him, so they did some dirty work. He didn't like. Okay, if you're gonna try to kill him, do it up front. Fight me like a man. Then you deserve to follow me in death.
Yeah.
You don't do that. I'll just use your soul to save and heal myself. Okay? This man is great.
You can't even serve me. I'll
can't
just
even
use your
serve.
soul for fodder.
Yeah,
Delightful.
Like,
But no, it's so funny to watch. Like, he'll be doing like stuff that by our world standards is like very ruthless or evil. Like he'll just like kill people on camera. He will just like straight like presidents will call him and he'll be like, I don't fucking care.
I don't give a shit."
They can come visit me. Fuck them. Like all sorts of shit. But like he's got this mentality of like it's cool if I'm making an enemy, then somewhere I'm also making an ally.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, everybody's got to be somebody's enemy. That's a very fair assessment.
This should make you want to read this. You could read this, Seth.
Yeah.
You could read this. It's so easy to read and it's enjoyable.
Yeah, I would say it's a slow burn because it is way cooler now than it was at the beginning. But it was very interesting at the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
it started out really good, and then I can remember I think 5 distinct points in the story where I would read one paragraph and my interest would like double. I would be like, oh shit, because like there's stuff that the main character knows that is not relevant to the story, so he doesn't talk about it, and then like he'll just casually drop a piece of information and it recontextualizes the entire story.
It's incredible. Also, he casually mentioned he'd solved all terrorism.
Yeah, he solved terrorism in the Middle East.
Yeah, there's
The main
peace in the Middle
character,
East now.
because somebody shot a missile at him, so he went and
He was
solved
like,
terrorism.
"Nah, I'm
in
going
the
to go
Middle
kill
East."
everyone who did that."
I'll take care of this.
He got a draft because he's a South Korean citizen, so he gets a draft to go to fight the war against North Korea. And he's like, should I go assassinate Kim Jong-un?
I just go kill him. If I kill him, do I have to serve? If he's dead, there's no
Like,
problem.
Yeah, that just takes care of it, right?
Seriously, like, how do I get out of the army? End the war by myself.
And Saku is like, you're kidding, right, Young? And he looks at him.
Why would I be kidding?
And then he's like, okay, I'm about to go to North Korea.
Right. Well, if you don't want me to do that, come up with a different solution.
I'm about to go kill that dude. Yeah. Oh God.
Yo. Real talk though, North Korea don't cause no trouble no more.
I wouldn't imagine they would.
Because he went up there and he's so awesome that Kim Jong-un is like,
Yeah, Kim
I'm
Jong-un
good.
is actually a Roused fanboy.
Incredible.
And so, like, he's like, oh god, I met Kim Kong Jin, man, like, this is awesome. Let's take a picture, and he like hangs it up in like a spot of honor in his like Roused museum.
Like instead of basketball, he's just like basketball's boring.
Yeah.
It's all about Roused.
He like takes down his like picture. God, who was the basketball player?
Michael Jordan.
No,
right?
not Michael Jordan. It was
maybe?
no, it was the dude with the fucking.
It wasn't Dennis Rodman. It was Michael Jordan. It was definitely Michael Jordan.
Well, he was obsessed with Michael Jordan,
might
and he
have been
only got Dennis Rodman.
It might have been
Dennis Rodman's the one who went over there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
he did.
they reference that picture and they tell him like taking it down and putting this picture in its place.
So good. He was obsessed with the Bulls. Was really all it is.
That's really one of my favorite things about this because it's a cultivation novel, but it's this kind of like crazy power thing, but it happens on Earth.
Yeah, I like
so,
that
like-
concept for a story.
Like when he's doing stuff, like he deals with the U.S. guilds and stuff, and like there's totally Americans that are like, well, we're going on a military operation. Like we're scared and we don't think we can do this, but we're gonna fucking go because we're America and we have to show. that
Yeah,
have
we
big
gotta
balls.
go. We gotta go. And then like because of Melody, the chick that showed up that's afraid of him
yeah.
showed up in an American dungeon. So she's on American soil with American guilds.
That's
So with the tie-in, everything's working out, and I like that. Like you get to see every other country in the way they handle their rows, the way they handle dungeon breaks.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see this one because we have like a basis for understanding of the civilization already. So instead of like learning about this whole new culture that's already been around this,
we already know how Earth works.
we know how it works, and so now it's just Earth with this additional thing on top.
Oh yeah, Twitter's a thing. Twitter's important.
Nice.
So what? It's like Gate?
What?
Is it similar to Gate then? Like,
No, not really.
no, I'll go.
It's like
It probably would be if Wu Jin wasn't the main
Mugen
character.
wasn't there,
But like
and
him being there changes.
the escalation of the story wasn't so important. Like in Gate, guns and tanks and attack helicopters are godlike. In this, that crap doesn't work in dungeons.
For our uninformed listener, what is Gate?
It's a really jingoistic Japanese anime, manga, and light novel series about a situation where a magical gate opens up in Japan and a bunch of orcs and crap come out to attack. The JSDF repel it back, and then they advance into it. And because there's a whole world there, they start claiming territory and dealing with all the drama going on in there.
Japan, you're bad.
It's super
Bad at this.
jingoistic.
Yeah, Japan, you're bad at this.
Yeah, no, I mean like Japan loves being jingoistic, like Space Battleship Yamato forever. But like really a battleship in space. Come on, Japan.
They needed to fight space.
Oh yeah, like there's a lot of political commentary in Gate, but like that's a thing we can cover in another episode. Because Gate deserves its own episode, kinda.
I'm not trying to detract attention. I was just trying to make sure we.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring up because you reminded me of this. Japan is actually kind of the Roused center of the world because they have more subways than anyone else.
Yeah, they have a
makes
lot
sense.
of Roused.
So
That
like,
actually makes a ton of sense.
People go there to like trade or like
India
and there's more magic.
has some pretty good Roused. China has a lot of Roused. China is messed up. I don't like the way China's ran in the story, but it's ran like China. So like,
I don't like the way China's run in real life right now, but like,
So
what are you
I
gonna do?
guess it tracks.
Yeah, like I love how from a Korean writer covers the other countries. It's super interesting. Like we're like, yeah, I'm heading to Germany to deal with this, to see how they deal with this invasion that just happened.
I guess
Like,
we
it's
haven't
sick.
talked about this, but like one of the major premises of the story is that these dungeons every so often they will reset. And when that happens, like you can get like a general idea of how strong they are. But if someone doesn't go in and clear it within 30 days, a new dungeon break happens. And that's when like monsters come out. That's when the property gets damaged, all that kind of stuff. So the main character is really good at clearing dungeons. So eventually this becomes like an asset of his, like something that countries are willing to like buy him to do.
And once you clear a dungeon, you earn it. If you're the first person, you own it. If you're the first person to clear it. And every time anyone else farms that dungeon, they come out, a percentage of what they farm goes to you as money.
automatically, or did, like you?
That's
they
just
have
a
to
system
take
in
them
the
down?
economy.
And so in the main character's mind, his whole goal is leveling. And the reason why I think for me, like this doesn't feel like a cultivation novel is it's very much like RPG leveling. It's like kill monsters, get experience, level up.
And
the
he
card.
really wants to get it because not only is leveling make him stronger, it gets back his companions he's had for the past 20 years.
Yeah, he has all his like necromantic familiars.
Oh,
and he's
cool.
unlocking them as he's
And
leveling up.
they're all good people. They're all people. They all have personality.
Well, they're all
of
people
them.
that died in the other world, right?
One's a demon,
Okay.
and she's great.
Yeah, there's the succubus, the witch of illusion, the titan of destruction,
Yo, he's so good.
the goddamn lich.
Yo, Janus.
Like,
Janus.
Janus is the man. Like,
but,
you spend so long waiting for Janus to show up, and it's just like the studio trigger of the story is about to really kick into high gear when Janus shows up.
Hell yes.
yeah, no, it is honestly, it's a great story. Like the strongest thing I can say about it is that my intent to read 10 chapters of it turned into finishing the entire story. And like I can't give a higher recommendation than that. I couldn't put this series down.
That is an excellent recommendation. Like the fact that you could not stop reading it
This
until you were done.
This is one of those. It was why I was able because it updates kind of slowly,
Sure.
like way slower than I want.
Yeah, you
but
might
it's
get a
okay.
chapter every like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
As I'm kind of figuring out now.
Yeah, whenever he feels like giving it to us, but it's about 2 or 3 days, which was nice because when I read anything for this show, like Coiling Dragon or any other, I get to come back to a nice fat stack of Soul Station Necromancer waiting for me.
Have you read anything else by this translator? Just out of curiosity, it seems that you guys have
to my
affinity.
knowledge, I actually haven't. I don't think I've read anything else by the translator.
What was the translator's name? I'm trying to remember.
I only say that because I haven't read that many Korean novels, and like the ones that I do, the 1 or 2 that I do know the translator for.
It just seems like
I read a lot of stuff that Rainbow Turtle translated.
Yeah, see, I read a lot of Rainbow Turtle too because Rainbow Turtle does a lot of the Korean novels I read
Gotcha.
But
right now. But
just
So it's less
I did
of a
actually have a
loyalty.
note I wanted to say on the translation itself is like it is both an excellent and also kind of a sloppy translation. It is an incredible translation in that you never have any misunderstanding about what's going on. I never don't understand which character is doing something. I always am able to follow the action. It's very like clear as to like visually what's happening in the story. It's kind of a sloppy translation in that like names are fluid in this story.
oh yeah, Sung Hoon's name gets
Like there's Hong Sung-gu, there's Woon Sung-hoon, and like those 2 characters are interesting because the number of G's in Hong Sung-gu is I've seen it go between 0 and 4. I've seen the N disappear randomly. Sometimes it's 2 words. Sometimes it's just 1.
That sounds incredible. That sounds like a translator who can't make up his mind.
well, like
And like
Or a
it's
collaboration.
Or a collaboration, that's
yeah.
fair.
I mean, it's fine. Like it's not
Like, a lot of
distracting.
those-
It's just amusing.
Wu Jin's name is consistent.
Although the H and the N and sometimes get mixed up in his first name, but that's about it.
And all of the foreign characters that show up, names have been consistent.
Yeah,
Indian
Melody has never
characters,
been Melody
Melody.
or whatever.
Melody, all of it, Titan, all of the U.S. names have been right.
Right.
The world is so meaty and fluid and feels so good to be in when you're reading it.
That's important. As I've
It's so
said,
grounded because it's based in our reality modified. That's it. It's our world. If magic stuff showed up, that's it.
I think I say it in every review that we talk about that has a great world is that like world building is crazy important to me and to like everybody. It should be in a story, I guess.
I think that's one of my favorite things about reading these Asian novels is that like the Eastern literature has a different, and I don't mean this in like a negative or positive sense. I just mean it's a different mindset on world building than we have in Western writing. Like it's not. They have a different like concept of what's important, what needs to be established, and those sort of things, and it lets you. It's like the white space in the picture that your brain fills in is in different places in these novels than it would be in Western novels, and like that, it makes you think about them in a different way.
You also will learn a lot about Korean culture reading this novel. This is a good opener for getting into Korean novels. Like Dungeon Defense is a good one too, so you get a good feel for like enjoying a crazy character. but for understanding like Korean culture, Soul Station Necromancer is pretty good because the main character's readjusting from like.
So he's like getting an introduction to Korean culture.
Oh yeah,
too,
there's
in
also
his
he
own-
missed out on 5 years of culture.
5 years of changes. Cell phones have changed. Games have changed.
Also,
Internet's
like,
changed.
his aesthetics of like on beauty and everything have completely changed because he comes from this place where like scars are like a sign that
as
you
fuck.
survived.
He spent he spent 20 years fighting for his life and becoming the immortal. To come back, and he's actually 20 years older than his peers, but he's on a body only 5 years older.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, no, it's
Some
it's a
time
fascinating
compression
series.
nonsense.
Like I don't know what else to say. Highly recommended.
Heck, there's a part that I have to commend a translator for where he makes a reference that even though I read a lot of Korean stuff, watch a lot of Korean stuff, I didn't get. It was like from a show that these two characters, Woo Jin and another leader of his own guild, were having on his private plane. They watched this show and they made jokes about it.
Like private plane, private like flying plane, or private plane like a place where things can be.
Flying plane. No, like keep in mind.
I
like-
just wanted
like
to make
I
sure
said,
because it could be both in this kind of book.
His goal is to level, so like he wants to get as many kills as possible, kind of a thing. And he's very good at that because he basically walks in and he's like, "Skeletons, go!" And he waits until it's done.
Hey, skeletons, good job. All right, moving on.
Pretty much. It is as humorous reading it as it is when we just described it. But like, so he just makes a shit ton of money because usually like 8 people are required to do this, and they're doing it carefully and like.
They have teams of hundreds of people supporting them outside and getting them gear and protection.
It'll take them
And
like
this dude's just like rolling
and
in.
it'll take them days
It'll-
and days and days.
It'll be like a 15 or like 30 day job inside the thing that they're doing, which is like 4 times less than that outside because it's like time dilation.
But
Sure.
it takes him like he'll go in on our side. He'll go in out in 3 hours. Next price.
Or he'll be like, "Ooh, this one's good leveling," and he'll go back in and just keep farming the dungeon repeatedly as fast as possible.
Incredible.
Oh yeah.
That's how he makes all his money, and he's like, "I've got so much money now, and I don't have anything to do." Like, he comes home and he's like, in one day, he basically makes enough to like get a new house for his family.
Jesus.
Like,
So wait, he comes back at the same time that all of the dungeons start appearing, I
no,
would
he
imagine?
comes back 5 years later. He got teleported away.
They thought he died like his father did.
Okay.
At the
So
beginning of the
we've had
dungeon
5 years for the dungeons to like
Yeah, so
build
the
up and
world's, like-
So
establish a thing.
there's a dungeon
Slowly
economy.
figuring out
It's a
Gotcha.
dungeon
Okay.
economy now.
Okay.
It's the gold rush.
Gotcha.
And
Fuck, man, this sounds like fascinating.
you gotta read it.
I will read it, maybe.
Like I found a show that I started
man.
watching that's translated into English, a Korean like sitcom because of a joke they make in this show.
what's it called?
in the I have it written down because I'm not pronouncing that right now.
Fair enough.
But
It'll be in the comments.
they referenced it in the book. The translator gave us a link so we would get the joke, the reference he made. So I just started watching the show because the show was really good.
All right.
So like,
I meant to say description, not comments. Although it could be in the comments. I'm going to go find all the comments for this episode and put a link in it, no matter where it's hosted.
I want to talk
That's
more,
Eternal Quest continues.
but I don't want to spoil
I-
this.
Yeah, no,
I
please don't,
honestly
because I
felt
want
like
to read
I've
this book.
already spoiled too much.
Yeah,
and,
we've
but, like,
talked a little bit too much, but it's like it's hard to talk.
I can't help it because like I'm literally gushing with love for this story. Like so many amazing and like I've said some pretty interesting stuff in my opinion, but like I have only really
You've not touched any of the
surface
meat and potatoes
of
yet.
what's happening. Like the cool part is what happens with those things because like the cool part about this story is the execution of the cool ideas it has, not the fact that it has the cool ideas. Like he starts describing his familiars at the beginning of the book. Like you know at the beginning he's going to get a lich when he levels up higher.
Oh yeah, Janus.
But like it's not relevant until much later in the
Until
story.
you get there, it's a travel. I wish we could have talked about more of the characters here because there's so many characters I absolutely adore.
Talk about one.
Oh, can I make a request?
Sure.
Okay. Kenny briefly described him to me as like the guy who goes a little too far.
Okay. So he comes back. He doesn't have a cell phone because he's been on Magic Planet for 20
this
years.
guy. Oh,
And so like he extorts the high schooler for more money, and
he's a
then
good salesman.
well, I mean his high schooler friend and takes it, and then goes to go buy a phone, and he like goes and he's like, "Hey, give me like the newest, coolest phone." And the guy gives him like a shitty like 3-year-old model. And he's like, this is it. This is totally the best one, because he doesn't know anything. And the guy calls him out, like figures it out. And then so then he goes home and the high schooler's like, hey, that's like the shittiest phone that exists. And so like the phone salesman has no idea that he's just angered Kang fucking Woojin. So like he goes back up and he's like, hey, guess what? I'm fucking roused. And then like he threatens to kill this guy basically, like, and like very calmly. He's not even really worried about it. He's just like, oh, you don't betray me. Like, I kill people for that. I killed kingdoms for that.
So you, humble cell phone salesman, going to give me a better phone.
So he hurts himself, giving him like the best model, like the phone that's powered on the magic stones that come out of dungeons.
Yeah, it's a good phone. It's a good phone.
The best phone. It's the Apple I
And
crystal.
then he's like, hey, put your phone number in this, because if something goes wrong,
I'm calling you.
And don't change your number.
Incredible.
So then, like, time goes on, and he has so much money, he's like, hey, I should make a company to support me. Because I don't want to work for any of the existing companies. I don't want to have anyone above me. That would be stupid.
Because they believe me, they want him. They want him. It's like,
people are
this is cool, but I don't follow anyone's directions.
Yeah.
Actually, the first people he gets for his company are the people from another guild who are like lusting after this guy, like giving him all this free shit, setting up like dungeon expeditions for them in their company dungeons, like doing all these things. And then at the end, he's like, "Hey, you guys are really good at this. Come work for me instead."
And they immediately are like, "Yep, let's go."
And it goes to their mindsets, and you see them explaining, like, I've been here for 5 years. I've worked hard from the beginning. I've done this. I'm organized, and like he's rationalizing. But then he sees how powerful and how strong Woojin is, and he's like, I gotta take a chance.
Gotta go with the strong guy, man.
And so like he starts the company, but like he goes and he's like, oh wait, Korean law, we have to have at least 5 people to start a company. He's like, well, all right, I got you 3 and me, and then there's the high schooler, right? And he's like, no, he's too young, we can't do it. And he's like, fuck, who else do I know? The phone salesman.
Hey, yeah, come here right now.
Yeah, you work for me.
Right now, like, just like threatening, and the guy like shows up because he's afraid for his life. And like, so like he gets there and they're like, yeah, we're gonna borrow your name for a second. They just write him down as the 5th person, and like that's all they want him for. But like this guy's like, my foot's in the door.
It's time.
Now's my chance.
It's time. And like that event, by the way, changes this man's life forever.
I'm sure. Yeah, because now he's in the company, and like they're just like, like he's there, and like he's not the worst person, because like if his soul was actually bad, then Woojin would know and he wouldn't be there. But he like realizes that he has no actual skills, so he tries so hard in everything. Like his whole thing is like, I gotta find what Woojin wants and do it. So like they go to like a net cafe like one day, and like literally just to kill time. No major purpose in this, and they play League of Legends. He's like, oh man, this is pretty cool. And the guy's like, I got it. And he's like, we're hiring new people, and he hires like 2 diamonds and a platinum to be on their new like company wall team.
Why? Yo, he have to make sure Woojin has a good time so he maintains his position. You don't understand.
No. That's fair. He's the what's the fucking dude for The Godfather? The dude who sets up all the stuff.
No, it's absolutely that.
The consigliere. What's his fucking name?
I know who you're talking about.
God damn it! Oh, you're gonna burn me alive, everyone who's listening to this. I'm so sorry.
Well, you think about it while I continue another story of this guy. He's Woojin has decided as an obligation he has to give a gift to this girl. He used to know her in the past, and like she used to be really pretty. So this guy hears that he misunderstands this as them going on a date.
Oh yeah.
And so he's like, "Don't worry, boss, I got this." And then like runs off, and he's like, "Okay, whatever." And then like he shows up, and he's like, "Oh, well, let's go see a movie." And like he goes to the movie stand. "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Every ticket has been sold out." And they're like, "Oh, well, that sucks." And they start to walk away, and a guy walks up in like a coat and like with his face covered, and he's like, I'm walking out for a business meeting. Here, you can have these 2 tickets, and it's like to the romance movie, like the movie.
And he bought every seat.
And then he shows up. The next scene is him showing up and be like, "Yeah, I'd like to return all these tickets."
Yeah, they weren't good tickets. They were bad tickets.
Like, it's just like everything this guy does is like on this level of like 3 or 4 steps too far.
Well, it's cool though, because Woojin, like, you can tell Woojin appreciates that the man is trying.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
like
so-
he's clearly come up in the world from being a shitty, duplicitous cell phone salesman to being a fifth member of a company, and like I get
a
it.
fifth founding member of this company.
Yeah.
And then his life begins to get infinitely better. You got to read it. I'm not
All
gonna
these,
spoil
I'm gonna
it
read it.
anymore.
Like this is
Maybe.
one character that we have just gone in depth to, but like
Solid meat.
we could have done this for literally almost every
Any
character that
character.
we're talking about. Like,
Every
all of these characters have super interesting, often hilarious stories.
Incredible. This sounds like honestly one that I very well may
It's
read.
short. Just read it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that
It's
long.
not going to eat 30 books in your
Yeah,
life.
this isn't like the Coiling Dragon, like this is a Wheel of Time fucking epic. Like this is like reading like a novel.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. That's a lot of chapters.
I
Though. You said
expect
200 and 300 and
It's like
something?
230, but like it takes like I don't know. I probably read a chapter in like 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah. I can do that. I may have read some of this by the next time we do one of these
No,
podcasts.
I expect you to have read some of this
Yeah,
next
I
time.
mean,
we
like
see.
honestly, read the first like 10 or 15, like, and just give an impression. Like you'll have a pretty good idea of
All right.
what's going on by that point.
Okay.
Um,
This one sounds like honestly one of the most ringing endorsements we've had so far, past like Coiling Dragon, which just has the
I mean, I think about things that we've talked about on this series, that might be the case. It's like Coiling Dragon, Desolate Era, and like the only reason I can't give the biggest ringing endorsement of Desolate Era is because like that still has way up to go. Like,
yeah, it's
cool
not
shit's
done
still
yet.
happening in
Like
that.
it's not even. We got a while. So like, you could probably tell that we enjoyed this book because this is our longest episode. Next to the Coiling Dragon one, which is the longest. What's the what we reading next, guys? We did Korean this time. Where are we going to next?
I shall seal the heavens. 100%.
Back to Chinese. I shall seal the heavens. Next episode. I'm going to be like Seth in this one. I'm going to read some of it before we start.
Get
yeah.
to
Wait,
talk about
I'm not
some of
supposed to
that
have read
Hung
some
Pao.
of I Shall See the Heavens.
No,
Right?
no.
No, honestly, read Solstice Necromancer.
Okay.
I'll read I shall seal the heavens.
There we go.
Yeah.
That works.
No, I Shall See the Heavens I'm super excited about. It was one of the first novels I started reading, and where I'm at right now, it finished within the past couple months.
That sounds incredible.
And it was an awesome read all the way through.
Fuck yeah.
Look
Well,
forward to
next
that.
time, I Shall See the Heavens. But this time, it was nice talking to you guys.
All right, I'm your host, Jonathan Kenny.
I'm Bill.
And I'm the Korean guy, the Korean reader.
You are not Korean.
Richard. I'm not Korean.
You are like the least Korean person I know. I'm Seth. Also pretty much non-Korean.
I'm not Korean. I'm the Korean reader.
There you go. That's fine.
Fair enough.
No, you can be a Korean guy. Korea's a topic.
All right. Whatever, Bill.
Yeah, he's the Korea guy. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week.
Next time.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this, tell your friends about us. I can say words.
Leave a
Tell us to
comment.
your friends about us things, please.
Leave a comment.
Tell us things to friends and stuff, and
Subscribe and
Yeah,
rate.
subscribing and leaving comments will be like huge for us.
Wherever
We really
you found
appreciate it.
this. Like,
However, how did you find this?
yeah, no, I want to know.
Comment where you found it.
Yeah,
Yeah, do that.
I want to
know.
All right, thanks
time.
guys. See you
Bye.
next time.
Tom Hagen. It was Tom motherfucking Hagen. Ah!
Tiger Roller Coaster Productions. Tigers are scary. You try to get off.